Um, I'm going to put this on this channel because I want to speak to those that are seeking this in life. Well, you're not seeking this. Most of us aren't. What we're doing is we're overlooking this and we're wasting our time. That is what the war between the world and the church is. The Christian church. That is what makes us not want to be heard. That is what makes the Christian church not want to be heard. Nobody wants to hear the preacher talking. Nobody. Why? Because the point of the preacher is the same point of your parents when you were just a little one, just a teeny beanie. The point is, stop wasting time. When you were a kid, your parents, and I know my parents, my mom, and the way I tried to raise my kids is, I know you want to have fun, but stop wasting time. Sure, you can have fun while you're concentrating on the principles. Like, sure, you can go to school and you can have fun in school with sports. You know what I'm saying? You get a certain age, you can date a boy. You get a certain age, you're going to go to prom, you're going to have fun. But then after school, you had fun in school. But then after school, the best relationships between parents and their children are the relationships where children, not just when they were kids, just little ones, but when they were teens, they had that relationship with their father, let me say it one more time, their father and their mother, to where there was family time. And family time is the hallmark of understanding what love is. Because anybody can go out there and love people, the Bible says that. And I'm not, this is my, I usually don't say this kind of stuff on this channel, but I'm going to do it tonight, or I'm going to do it this morning rather, okay? The whole point of your relationship between your parents being when there's no school, and me and my youngest daughter, we have this problem. We've had this problem. Where she got wrapped up into, first of all, divorce. I don't think any of my kids ever forgave me for that, okay? It's like a crime. It's like I'm in jail, you know what I mean? And I feel bad about it, but I don't apologize because it happens. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, we can't do everything your way and then, expect everybody to be happy. You can't, I can't be a silent, robotic husband. I just can't. I can't do that. I can't be a husband who just shuts his mouth and sticks his penis out. You know what I'm saying? And the rest is me just shutting up and not doing anything, not saying anything. I'm to do two things. I'm going to stick my penis out and I'm going to work. and bring home the bacon. That's no, no, no. It's not the way it's done. Now the kids didn't see this going on, but this was going on for me. You know what I'm saying? I was only good at two things: sex and bringing home the money. Which, let's get real, that's not that hard, okay? And I was the workhorse in the family, and when it came time to, you know, for the family time, the kids used to sit there and watch us fight, okay? Because there was a lack of respect there, and I'm not going to blame it all on her. There's things I could have done too in response to what she was doing differently, but still, you know what I'm saying, and God understands. I mean, sure, we're in the church, we don't practice divorce, but God knew that this was bound to happen because the whole thing was wrong from the get-go. Okay, that's enough of that. Point is, when I had custody of the children, I had custody of the children while they were in middle school and high school. And my two daughters, my two biological daughters. And they my youngest daughter was, you know, she was all about her friends in school, and that's all she cared about. And I could tell that the divorce kind of pulled her away from me, you know. So there you go. Don't get divorced unless you really, really, really have to. I couldn't get her to want to spend time with me after school. Like, hey, sweetheart, you know, what do you say, you know, this weekend we're going to spend some family time together. And she would tell me that she already had plans with her friends, and that used to piss me off. You can't just make time with your friends without talking to me about it first. Well, Dad, you know, I really, 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 really need to do this, blah, 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 blah. And then I found out as time went on, that time that she was spending with her friends was time that shouldn't have been happening. It should not have been happening. I'm not going to go into detail, but you know, what we call the world in the church. Do not love the world. Anyone who loves the world is the enemy of God. And my youngest daughter at a young age, she hated my Christian status. She hated the fact that I don't really care about, you know, all these things. And why would I do that in front of her anyway? I'm divorced. I don't need to be carrying on worldly behavior. I mean, she's not going to love me more if I go out and get this old wicked girlfriend, start having one night stands with women in front of her and my other daughter. She's not going to love me more for that. People do not understand that the world is not our friend. They don't understand that. They don't understand that. They don't understand that the world is not our friend. Okay? And it all starts when we're kids. The first thing that's most important if you're going to have children is quality time with those kids. Because anything, whether it be the kids that ruin it or whether it be marriage and whether it be mom and dad fighting or divorce, or the fact that mom wants to run around to get away from dad, or dad don't want to, he's passive and don't want to be at home enough, or whatever the case. When you screw love up, you have a tendency to screw it up, or someone screwed it up for you and you blame God for it. A lot of kids don't realize the injustice that their parents did. They say, oh, how was your relationship with your parents? Oh, my relationship with my parents were pretty cool. Okay, what did you ever play football with your dad? Did you ever go out on the town with mom and mom showed you how to shop, mom showed you how to do your hair? When I look around me and I see happy people who are not, bound by fornication, they're not bound by their relation, like females, they're not bound by their relationships with men. They don't always need a man, or a man doesn't always need a woman. They're probably having less sex than everybody else. Okay? And they're happy. You know why? Not because they found a religious shell to be in. It's because they had good relationships with their parents. Okay? My relation, and this is how strong, and I don't mean to drag you into this, because I don't talk about this on this channel, but this is how strong God is. My father and my mother were not together when my mother had me. And my father wanted to come into my life as a child when I was just a little one and coming up, because he wanted to do circles around me and get to my mom, because his little hoes out there that he had other kids by, okay, wasn't doing their part. They wasn't meeting his needs. Okay? He was a drunk and a womanizer. Okay? I was a porn addict. I grew up as a porn addict. Okay? And I almost became an alcoholic. I just bought a bottle of wine last night, and I'm surprised that, it never happened to me that way. Last time I got drunk was on my honeymoon, which was a long time ago. But very long time ago. But my mother loved me. She loved me with the kisses of her mouth, even when I was a teen. Right before she died, she loved me with the kisses of her mouth and her warm embrace. She loved me by encouraging me all the time that I could do anything that I want to do. She loved me by, keeping me by her side. I didn't get to go out there, and I realize this is how strong God is, because I didn't get to go out there and do, the things that the other kids were doing. When I tried to bring my first hoe, so to speak, in the window, in the laundromat window, in the kitchen window, okay? My mom decided to wake up with her insulin, with her, always an insulin shock kind of thing self, because she was disabled by that time, and she was like, level 2 diabetes, and it was bad. But, my hormones were out of control, and, the girls come to the window and they say, hey, you want some, and I'm like, okay, and I open the window for them, and they're climbing in, and my mom's in there, D-Roy, fix me another cup of tea, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm so glad and thankful to God that there was always something interrupting that. There was always something interrupting my desire to be like the other kids, especially growing up in the ghetto. But, when I would go to church camp, people get tired of me talking about church camp. When I would go to church camp every summer, it was a totally different thing, a totally different culture, a totally different life. Okay? And everybody, we learn how to have fun morally. Let me say that again. We learn how to have fun morally. Okay? And that stayed with me, even though, yeah, sure, everybody leaves the church and does their little fornication and, little show on the road before they get it right, but that stayed with me. When I got married, that stayed with me. When I got divorced, that stayed with me. About how we were able to enjoy life without all that fornication, without all that, trying to keep up with our homies, without all that, we just enjoyed life. And then I would come home back here to Pittsburgh, and I would realize what's different between what just happened. I just walked out of one life into another just by leaving Somerset, Pennsylvania in those days and coming back to Pittsburgh. And Somerset was a very, very, very racist town in those days. And I didn't know it. My mom never had this conversation with me. That's another thing I thank God for. My mother never had that conversation with me. White people were always just people to me. They were just people that act different than my people. You know what I mean? And that's important. That's something you need to note. My mom never had that conversation with me. I told this to somebody the other day. My mother never had that conversation with me. Never sat me down and told me about the white man or racism and start preaching slavery, the religion of slavery to me and all that junk. She didn't do that. She knew I would learn on my own, and she wanted me to learn on my own. And I did learn on my own. Okay? And you need to note that. Okay? I'm not going to go into detail with that. That's something, especially if you're black and you're watching this, you need to take notes on right there. My mother never had that conversation with me, and I thank God she didn't. I learned on my own. I met people. I've been called the N-word. I've been places where people wanted to fight for no reason. People told me I don't belong. I came into the restaurant. They asked me to leave. I've been through that. But, my mother never showed me, and never had that conversation with me. Now, I knew that my grandmother, on the other hand, she hated white people with a passion. She felt that white people done her a bad injustice that she'll never forgive them for. I don't know what happened with my grandmother before she married my granddad. I don't know what happened, but something happened. She went through some stuff, okay? But anyway, the point of this video is this. There's three things in life that you need to there's three things in life that you only need. You only need three. And that is, first of all, love. And when I say love, God is love, yes. But love is not always about you receiving love. If you receive love and you never give love, you're going to have a problem with love. If the only person you ever loved is your wife because she's sleeping with you and she's cooking for you, that's not love. If the only people you love is your own immediate family, if the only people you love are people that do things for you, that's not love. The Bible says that's not love. Okay? Love is when you love other people, when you create, when you do things for other people. You can call it charity if you want to, King James Version. Okay? It doesn't mean that you in love with everybody and just want, everybody to, stay at your house. That doesn't mean that, that's not the kind of love I'm talking about. I'm talking about the love of giving. So you need to learn what love means for you to love other people and for other people to love you. And every man, every woman, every child needs to learn how to love and give to others. Okay? Now, if you have a family, that is your first and most important ministry. Okay? But what comes first is your relationship with God. Your relationship with God is about love. It's not only love for God, but it's love for yourself. Because you're made in the image of God. So when you love God, you love yourself. Hallelujah. When you love God, you love yourself. Okay? When you love God, you love yourself. Okay? So you have love. There's three things you need in life. You need love. You need ministry or mission, set goals. Okay? And you need completion. You need work that gets done. You need to build things that gets done. You need those three things in life. Love, okay, which is ministry. Love and ministry, I'll put them together. Love and ministry and commitment, okay? You need, and it's all about love. The work you do is all about love. We go to work every day to get a paycheck, but there's a dozen ways to make a paycheck. Okay? One thing I hate about work is people try to divide and conquer on the job, as if we ain't all there to make money and go home. But I work with people who try to hurt my feelings on the job, and I have all my life. I don't like when people spend time on the job trying to make you an idiot for existing, because it makes them feel special. It makes them feel like a man. Oh, and then they want to act like they're joking, but you know what I'm saying? They don't know how to be anything but that. So that tells me you're not joking. I thought a guy was joking at the last job I just quit. And when I shook everybody's hand because I was stepping down, resigning, and going to get another job, I wanted to shake everybody's hand. And I'm thinking this guy was always joking with me. The short jokes and all that. I sometimes they make me mad, but I never showed it. You know what I'm saying? And I always would try and laugh it off. And one day, when it was time for me to leave, everybody shook my hand but him. People honestly do not like you on a job for the dumbest reason. Because you black, because you white, because you an immigrant, because you don't speak English properly. Or the dude's an immigrant. What you want? Okay. People hate you on a job. And you're all there for one purpose. You're all there because the company is offering you these jobs so that you can come and work and have money to take home to your family. The people on the job, a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people, will go out of their way to hate you. They'll go out of their way to hate you. Okay? Let me read this. This is in the Bible. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12. I don't know if I need to read the whole thing or not. It's not that long. And I know I don't talk about this on this channel, but this ties in with all the other things I talk about on this channel. Okay? Remember now your Creator in the days of your youth, before the difficult days come. This is why I tell you, you need to, when you're at home with your parents, you and your parents, you're both responsible to share, to have that time together as a family. God forgive me for every time my kids said something to me about doing this or doing that, and I'm like, oh God, I'm tired. But I started to make appointments with them. Okay, then my ex-wife would come in and she wants appointments. She's making appointments for me. Well, I'm like, well, I told Derek, I would do this and that with him. Why are you just now telling me this? So y'all got to get that together. That's part of a healthy marriage. Understanding that your time, she understands and he understands that your time with your kids is your time with your kids, and his or her time with the kids is his or her time with the kids. Or y'all can get together and plan time with the kids, and then the kids are out with their friends, but you got to monitor that and make sure that my kids' time with their friends, okay, was against my family structure. It really was. It was against my family structure. Okay? It was against my family structure. Remember now your Creator in the days of your youth, before the difficult days come and years draw near when you say, I have no pleasure in them. You're going to get old, and you're going to find out it never was about sex. Everything is sex and sexy. It never was about going out there and showing off and making all these friends. And where are your friends now? You only need one friend that you don't even see that often. You know who that friend is? That's the one that'll go looking for you if you show up missing. That's the one that if he ain't heard from you for a while, he'll hunt you down, or she'll hunt you down. You need one friend. You need one friend that's going to make sure that your name and your legacy is posted. You need that friend that's going to be the only one that maybe even above your own family is going to get up there at your funeral and tell the world the truth about you. That's the kind of friend you need. Okay? But a lot of times we meet people that are willing to be that friend, but they want something in return that doesn't belong to them. They want something weird. Even in the church, there are people who just want, like I got friends who want me to come spend the night so they can tuck me in. No, I'm a Christian. And you supposed to be Christian, bruh. Like, that's why I don't call you anymore. That's why I don't, you know what I'm saying? No, I don't need to spend the night at your house. I need to come over. You know, you want to watch a football game together. You want to make something to eat together or something. You want to order pizza. You know, have a couple beers, or you know, have a couple Cokes. I don't care. But I don't need you to tuck me in, bro. I don't need that. I thought we was Christians. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't need you to tuck me in. Okay, you only a little bit older than me. And this was years ago. But you only a little bit older than me. You know. You don't kiss me on the cheek and tuck me in. I can do that myself. My mama dead. She was dead a long time ago. I got kids of my own. What you think you doing? You know, I tuck my kids in. What you think you doing? You know. But you got to be careful about that. You got to know who your friends are. Your friends shouldn't be constantly, you know, taking you to parties and constantly hooking you up with girls, or vice versa, hooking you up with guys, or your friends shouldn't be teasing you for being a virgin. If you want to be a virgin, that's your prerogative. Don't let nobody, absolutely nobody, condemn you for being a virgin, especially when you're a woman. Virginity is beautiful, and it makes the person that you settle down with, if you're still a virgin at that time, it makes him beautiful. And whether you're a man or a woman, if your first time, if you lost your virginity with the one that you married, that is a beautiful thing. And a lot of times it means you're going to be married longer than the average couple. But people don't understand, like, you give so much away when you just go out there and have sex for fun. Sex is not fun. Sex is intimacy. Sex is a message to the one that you love. Sex is something that you practice. Okay? It's not about men wanting coochie and men being thirsty all the time for girls and wanting coochie. Yeah, that might have been a little bit when they were out there dating 100 different women a month or whatever. But when a man gets married, why should his wife ever deny him sexual activity in home? She's forgetting what marriage is about. She thinks her coochie is priceless, and it's not. Okay? Don't do that. Okay? You either want to be intimate with your spouse, even when you're having a bad day. You know what I'm saying? The Bible says, make up and get over it before the sun goes down. Okay? Lest the enemy, the devil, come in there and make it worse. Okay? Have no pleasure in them while the sun and the light, the moon and the stars are not darkened, and the clouds do not return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house tremble, and the strong men bow down. This is when you get really old. When the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look through the window grow dim. When the doors are shut in the streets, and the sound of grinding is low, when one rises up at the sound of a bird, and all the daughters of music are brought low. Also they are afraid of height, and of terrors in the way. When the almond tree blossoms, the grasshopper is a burden, and desire fails. For man goes to his eternal home. We all go to a eternal home, both Christians and those that are not. Okay? You're going to go home somewhere. Hopefully it's better than this life. I know where my home is and what it's going to be like when I die. because I prepare it every day by the way I live my life. And that's what life is all about. It's all about the fact that you're going to die. You're going to die. All of us. And it may not be when we grow old. It may not be when we turn 90 or 190. It may be when we're 50. Okay? My best friend just died of COVID. My best friend. Last year. Well, 21. He died of COVID. He was only 3 years older than me. So he wasn't even 60 yet. Okay, and he died. Okay? He died when I was 55 years old. Of COVID. Then I had pastors die of COVID. You know, they were in their early 60s. Okay? Alright? There's no telling when you're going to die. Okay? I just found out a lady friend of mine. I was wondering what happened to her because she's always leaving me notes on Facebook. She's always contacting me on Messenger. She follows me around the internet. You know what I mean? She goes to my YouTube channel, my Facebook channel. And I notice, you know, she hasn't been showing up for anything. And I was strolling through YouTube just yesterday. And her kids on the other side of her family had just talked about how much they miss her. They were doing a little memorial for her. And I'm like, and I think she's been dead for almost a year already. I had no idea. But I think her and I are around the same age. And she's had diabetes. It's all started with, you know, liver problems. Or no, kidney problems. And then she never got a transplant for a kidney. And then it went from there to diabetes. And she went through amputations and all that stuff. And oh my God, that poor woman. Her dying is a blessing for her. We will miss her, but her dying is a blessing for her because she's going to wake up with a new set of legs. Okay? She's going to wake up and walk. Okay? Hallelujah. Okay? So, in closing, for man goes to his eternal home and the mourners go about the streets. What a funeral. Most of us don't even get funerals like this, but nice funeral. It's still sad, okay? Remember your Creator before the silver cord is loosed. In other words, that cord is holding you from passing away into death. And it gets looser and looser and looser as time goes on, and then it just easily snaps, and it's like you're going down to the bottom of the ocean and you're just waving goodbye. Okay? Or the golden bowl is broken. Or the pitcher shattered at the fountain. These are symbolic meanings for things that happen as we die. Or the wheel broken at the well. Then the dust will return to the earth as it was. From dust we came, dust will we return. And the spirit will return to God who gave it. We are all made in the image of God. And it is the Spirit of God that has given us the human spirit. Okay? And I know a lot of us don't believe in God anymore, and I know a lot of us, you know, but the thing is, we're going to die. And atheism is not going to save us. Science is not going to save us. The Big Bang is not going to save us. Okay? Our dogs, our cats, okay? Our sexual appetites and behaviors and crazy, weird marriages, our gender issues and all that stuff. None of this is going to save us. We're all going to die at a ripe old age, if not sooner. None of this is going to save us. Vanity of vanity, says the preacher, all is vanity. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yes, he pondered and sought out and set in order many proverbs. The preacher sought to find acceptable words, and what was written was upright, words of truth. The words of the wise are like goads, and the words of scholars are like well-driven nails given by the shepherd. And further, my son, be admonished by these. Of making many books there is no end, and much study is wearisome to the flesh. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. Okay? For this is man's all. For God will bring every work into judgment, including every secret thing, whether good or evil. So again, may God add a blessing to the reading of his word. So again, you need three things in life. You need to love God first of all. Love God, love people. Okay? Be a giver. Give and it shall be given back to you. Okay? You need to be purpose driven. Okay? You need to have something to do that describes you. Okay? Most people today are describing themselves by either being trans and gay or both. Trans or gay or both at the same time. And they have nothing to do. They get on YouTube and make all these videos about, you know, being gay or about, you know, being trans. But yet, trans people have to go get a job. Trans people have to, go get jobs just like everybody else. They got to work. They got to make a living. They got to, I guess, start a family and everything just like everybody else. Where do you find time to waste your time making videos about being trans? All day. Okay? Same thing with being gay. Like some people, they feel that, you know, I never understood that. Like, I can understand you being gay, but coming out as gay, I've never had to come out as heterosexual. Why do you have to come out as gay? You know, people tell me, hey, you know, they ask me about my love life, my sex life. Ain't none of your business, man. You know what I'm saying? But gay people want everybody to know up front, oh, I'm coming out as gay, and it's all over the news. Why? We're wasting time. Whether you gay, trans, straight, Christian, okay, atheist, whatever you are. The Bible wins when it says there's three ways to go about life. Number one, you need to love God, love people, be a giver into life. Be a giver into life. You need to be focus driven, purpose driven. Okay? And then you need all that love and all that purpose to come down to the point to where you have gotten what you wanted out of life. If you didn't want to, you know, work rinky-dink jobs, for example, all your life. Like I say, if I had to do it all over, it'd be totally 100% different. If I had known what it was going to be by now. Okay? But you have to make everything that you do in the beginning of your life account to you having a good retirement at the end. A lot of people had fun in their life, and here they are in their 70s out here looking for a job. You got a 70-year-old man out here trying to keep up with these young folks because Social Security's not enough, because he didn't plan. When he was young, he was chasing girls, and when he was young, he was having lots of sex, and he was showing off, and he had dreams that were pointless. Here's a 70-year-old man coming home every day complaining about the young men that he has to work with. And I'm one of the guys in them shoes. I've got, young folks trying to, push me around on the job. And I've been through this for a while now, okay? No old man should be at the bus stop waiting on a bus out in the cold or out in the scorching heat with a bunch of idiotic young folks that don't know how to watch their goddamn mouths, don't know how to respect women, don't know how to respect, young kids or anything. It's sad. But this is where we all go when we don't plan ahead. This is where we all go when we think life is about having fun. What did I just read to you? What did I just read you? Remember now your Creator in the days of your youth before the difficult days come. Okay? You got to do it now. And if you're that person who's having a lot of fun, I encourage you to right now stop playing games and wasting time and start to really plan your life, to really build your life. Because you're not always going to make money off of YouTube. You're not always going to make money off of Uber, Lyft, okay? You're not always going to sit on your butt. If you're sitting on your butt now and making money, what you think you're going to be doing when you get old? You're going to wait till you get old to get off your butt? Alright. You're going to wait till you get old to where you can't get it up anymore to stop manipulating women and calling it consensual and calling it fun? I am D-Roy Cruz. I am your life applications officer on, I forget what the name of this channel is, but thank you for watching. And we'll talk more about this subject in a different light on another day. God bless. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. God bless.